5 people, 5 years. One small stretch of Vermont wilderness, and not a single satisfying explanation for any of it. The Bennington Triangle is a name that sounds almost too dramatic to be real. But the disappearances are real. The timeline is real, and the silence that followed each one, that is perhaps the most disturbing detail of all. The region centers on Glastenbury Mountain in Bennington County, Vermont. It is remote, heavily forested, and sits within the Green Mountain National Forest. The area has a long and uneasy history. The Abenaki people, who knew this land long before European settlers arrived, reportedly avoided Glastenbury Mountain entirely. They described it as a place where winds came from all 4 directions simultaneously, a place where things that entered did not always return. Whether you take that as folklore or warning depends on how closely you study what happened next. Between 1945 and 1950, 5 individuals vanished in or near this region under circumstances that investigators could not explain. The first was Middie Rivers, a 74-year-old experienced hunting guide. On November 12, 1945, he was leading a group of hunters through the mountains. He moved ahead of the group on a trail he knew well and was never seen again. A search recovered only a single rifle cartridge believed to be his. 1 year later, in December of 1946, 18-year-old Paula Welden disappeared on the long trail near Glastenbury Mountain. She was seen by multiple witnesses walking the trail ahead of them. Witnesses reported rounding a bend in the path, and she was simply gone, vanished, on an open trail, with people close behind her. No tracks, no trace. The case launched the creation of the Vermont State Police. In 1949, James Tedford disappeared from a bus. He had been on a bus from St. Albans to Bennington, confirmed aboard by fellow passengers. When the bus arrived at its stop, his seat was empty. His luggage remained in the rack above. His bus ticket was still there. That same year, 8-year-old Paul Jepson disappeared while his mother briefly left him near their truck. Search teams with dogs picked up a scent, and then, at a specific point on the road, the scent simply stopped, as if he had been lifted from the earth. The 5th disappearance, Frida Langer in October 1950, produced the only partial resolution and somehow made things stranger. Langer vanished after separating from her hiking companion near Somerset Reservoir. She was an experienced outdoorswoman who knew the terrain. 7 months later, her body was found in an area that had been searched repeatedly. The cause of death was never determined. 5 disappearances. 1 confirmed body with no identified cause of death. 4 people who were never found at all. The writer and folklorist Joseph Citro, who documented this cluster extensively, coined the term Bennington Triangle in the early 1990s, drawing the parallel to the Bermuda Triangle deliberately. Theories have ranged from a predatory animal to a serial killer who was never identified, to something stranger that investigators have never been willing to say aloud. The clustering in time and location is statistically difficult to dismiss. Glastenbury itself is essentially a ghost town now. It once had a small population, a railroad line, and industry. By the early 20th century, nearly everyone had left. The town today has fewer than 10 registered residents. The mountain sits largely silent. No one has ever been charged. No pattern has ever been confirmed. And the long trail still runs through those mountains, hiked by thousands of people every year who may not know what the land beneath their feet once swallowed whole. Some places accumulate history the way storms accumulate pressure, quietly, invisibly, until something finally breaks. Glastenbury Mountain has been accumulating for a very long time. The question is not whether something happened there. The question is whether it ever truly stopped.